I have recently sat down and read everything about this subject to understand what's going on. I don't have the time usually to deal with situations like this, but I decided to sit down and educate myself, and I'm glad I finally did. I don't have a problem with criticism that's aimed at me. I welcome it wholeheartedly. Criticism is what makes us learn important life lessons. That is, when it's given out properly. During the few years that I've been doing Nico Evaluates, I've criticized others, people have criticized me, I've made mistakes, and so have others. I've learned from my mistakes, and I've tried to fix them as best as I can. You've told me when you've been upset about something I've done. For example, talk about other unrelated things during an evaluation, or maybe I was venting about bots leaving dislikes. Those are good podcast topics, but they're not suitable for my regular content. That was good criticism, and I learned from it. Then there's the other form of criticism, and that's the point of this video. My MaGMML evaluation series will end, starting today. This was an easy decision after a long period of time where I was still second guessing it. It has been a rocky road since the beginning, and not all of it has to do with MaGMML itself. I wish I could say that I cut the ties in good terms, but it's not that simple. The past few days have pretty much verified my suspicions. During the past year, I've cut most of my ties to internet communities and social media. You can only find me on YouTube, Discord, and somewhat in Twitter. I'm not really active in there anyway, but you can find me there as well. I'm a part of just 3 Discord servers, and even that is sometimes overwhelming to me. I'm much more efficient, and I manage my time a lot better when I don't have tons of communities to cater and look for. I made a promise a long time ago to myself that I would not disclose any of the aspects of MaGMML that are leading to the possible cancellation of the series. I can't, however, keep that promise anymore. Somebody has to speak. I've been monitoring the situation for a long time, and finally the day has come where I can honestly say that they made this very easy for me. This was really, really easy for me. I'm not going to mention any names in this. That is not necessary. I'll only go through what has happened thus far, and how we will continue from here on out. The views I might get for continuing MaGMML, they are not worth it. What's important to me is that I don't ever have to deal with this community again in any form. That is what is most important for me right now. Am I telling you not to partake? No, go ahead. This is solely my own issue here. It has nothing to do with you. I got used to the trash talk over things that were pure fiction, and I also got used to criticism that was given to me, despite said criticism not making any sense, since most of the time it was based on hearsay or just plain out shit that was made up by someone, and then somewhere down the line it became the new truth, even though I had nothing to do with it. Me evaluating fan games that are considered quite bad, that's fine. We can have a laugh. Me doing the same thing on MaGMML? No, that's a completely different story. By giving my honest criticism, people will get hurt, but there's nothing I can do, it's only my opinion. Most of what has happened doesn't necessarily even have to do with the game or my series, but somewhere along the line things escalated so much that at this point I'm better off not being a part of said community in any form, and that will include my evaluation series. I know that some of you will be quite upset, as you always ask for more and more, but I don't want my channel to be associated with the community in any way. And I'm still on the edge if I should remove the videos, but I'll probably make them available for my Patreons or the people who are members in my YouTube channel. We'll see. I don't know what I'm gonna do with those. I don't feel the urge to delete them, but we'll see what happens with those. Like, maybe deleting them would counter the facts that what I'm saying here, because I still stand by everything I said. I just don't want my channel to be associated in any way with this community, so it's kind of a double-edged sword. We'll see what happens down the line. We'll see. So, here's my issue. The only way most of the community seems to be able to communicate with me indirectly because I'm not there, is via messages like these. Now, there are quite a few people who are trying their hardest, and I've seen this, to actually let these people in on the actual truth. But that does seem to be irrelevant to them. You could say, well, all communities have people like this. How is this any different? Well, numerous times I've witnessed the channel administrators or moderators, don't quote me on those roles, actually encourage this behavior, and some of them have even joined the fun. I've seen this with my own eyes. The rest, they just sit idle and watch it play out. I'm not used to this myself. For example, the Snapster Discord, it has actual rules. So I don't know how this works, but I'm not familiar with things that are run this way, so this is all new to me here. I think rules should always be in place, but what good does that do you when the bigger names do nothing? Or even in some cases they join in. I don't mind the things that have been said, it's everyone's own opinion and I respect that. What I have a big problem with is all the lies, the assumptions and spreading rumors that are false, but somehow become the truth magically somewhere down the line. The best thing I can do is to ignore the community and keep looking forward to the new challenges that await. I can't thank the Snapster community enough for always standing by me, and those individuals who saw this take place and took the appropriate action and tried to help. My respect to all of you. I wholeheartedly respect each and every one of you for at least trying. I've tried many times, but it just isn't working. We can conclude that it just doesn't work. We continue to have this topic come up in both communities, and I say it's time to fucking stop. This is where it ends, and I'm serious. Do not mention any of this ever again, and we'll be far better off. And like I said, unfortunately, despite my efforts, it has been of no use. I've personally been in the channel a few times, trying to set things straight the best I can. I've asked if there's any way we can get along. No, it has not helped. I have not succeeded, and thus I will just have to move on. So, you might be asking, well, what made your decision so easy after all of this? Why was it so easy? This simple message right here. Yeah. Alright, so someone who has a leg up in the community, so to speak, said it right there. It's simple. It's not alright to trash talk me anymore. Except now that rock and roll is becoming popular, now they will allow it. It's alright again to do that. Oh, I see how that is. And thank you for confirming this to me. You have single-handedly destroyed the last tie that I ever had to your community. It's an official goodbye. I know you won't be losing much, but I'll be very clear when I tell you this, I won't be losing much either. As a matter of fact, I think I've gained quite a lot from all of this. One of my biggest issues with the community is that whenever I would have an opinion, it's usually because I'm either biased, or maybe my looks don't please these people, or something else. Listen, I don't care what someone thinks I look like. What I do care about is that when I give criticism, your answer to it is just random insults that a 12-year-old would make if you don't agree. There's nothing for me to go by at that point. and it's not a discussion I need to be in. And everyone is biased. There's no such thing as an unbiased reviewer. In some cases, the person telling me how biased I am probably hasn't watched most of my videos and most likely doesn't even have a clue about my background or my opinions outside of one episode. It's 2019. There no longer seems to be an avenue for criticism. People must be living very simple lives when criticism towards a video game gets them this riled up. I've received 5 death threats, and to my understanding none of them are from this community, so this is just another thing of its own. I don't know who these people are and where they come from, but I've counted 5, and 2 of them came after rock and roll. And again, I'm saying it again, this probably has nothing to do with MaGMML, just saying. They're saying how I made the game harder. How, as some other people said, well, they got used to the game's difficulty and that's why the game is hard, because they got used to it. And I've been playing these games for a long time. It's my fault. I made this happen. Rock and roll is difficult because of this one single person. It's my fault. My fault. My fault. No questions. No asking around. Just assuming that that's the case and then spreading the information. As most of you know, I tested rock and roll the least. Probably the least out of all the testers. I mostly gave creative ideas. I told the developer of any bugs I found. If anything, I made the game easier, as there were several spots where even I had trouble. And I don't suppose I have to remind you that there were 7 testers total, and I was one of them. I get it. I'm an easy target, hence I will take most of the flack. Even if it was someone else's idea. It's just the way it goes, and that's fine with me. It's kind of like a public figure thing. Of course, it's an easy target, I get it. A lot of people just don't grasp the fundamentals of what it is to be a tester, but that's another topic for another time. The other big misconception seems to be that the snubsters tested unlimited, which is why the game is so difficult. This is just plain false. The developer didn't even know who we were at that time. And only I have tested the game, and I did not touch the core game, I just tested the prototype. When I put this following question in my FAQ, people's response was, someone who doesn't get this doesn't have the attention span to read your FAQ anyway. I agree. It's a stupid as fuck thing to add. But it was mentioned so many times inside this community that it became an actual thing I had to explain. Why in the hell would I put my name on a game that sucks? Or a game that I can see it's not going to do well? It would make sense to test something that you know the developer is already proud of, rather than to test something that would require like a ridiculous amount of rework. Testing subpar games would also put my name in jeopardy as a tester. This is called common sense. So, without going into detail about every single thing that I've been accused of or all the lies that have been spread, it's evident. Most of it comes from jealousy, and the rest come from people who just can't stand me. And I can respect that. If you find my content repulsive, or you just mostly disagree with my points, just find someone else to watch. It's that easy. You know, back when I contemplated on starting the MaGMML evaluations, I saw that one of the nicest guys I know, who has a lot more subscribers than I do, was already doing the series, and he was contemplating on shutting down the comments section due to the comments he received. This should have been enough of a clue for me to not pursue this series. I've lost so much respect for a lot of people, but at the same time I got to know their true colors. MaGMML as a game isn't what I enjoy. I'll be blunt, it's just not made for me. Most of it is something that I don't expect to see, and that's fine. We can't all like it. But the fact that rock and roll is getting more popular and the remake of MaGMML 1 isn't doing so hot is apparently a good enough reason to allow this kind of behavior, and this just further solidifies the base for this entire problem's foundation. I'm just so disappointed that it had to come to this. I'm so disappointed that I had to go through this. I'm so sad this had to happen. Mega Man is special to me. Don't you ever tell me that I don't care about the franchise. I care about it, and I give criticism because I want to see it improved to the level it deserves to be at. Mega Man taught me much, has gotten me through some difficulties in life, and it has brought me a great ton of friends. This is not what I want. I want to be able to enjoy the very thing that brought the fire under my channel in the first place, without all of this. I respect myself enough to know when to stop doing something. You don't deserve this treatment either, so I'm stopping this now. Never in my life have I come across something like this, and it just disgusts me, to be honest. I can't go another day with this much weight on my shoulders, trying to do the right thing, trying to settle things down, and personally going there, changing fiction to facts when nobody is willing to bat an eye. It's like we're talking two different languages. No matter what I do, no matter what I say, and no matter what opinions I might have, it will be read as something else, made into the opposite fact, or just twisted into fiction. Something I never said. To this community, it simply does not matter what I do, and at this point, it's way past fixing it. I guarantee, even if I had my name on a game as a tester, but never even touched it, it would probably still be my fault that the game has problems. It's just the way it is. And I have to expect that to happen, being a YouTuber. I do get criticism on the fact that rather than sometimes helping the developer through my commentary, I go more of the route of entertainment. But that's what Nico Evaluates always was. Entertainment first, education second. And once we've seen the same mistake like 15 times, it makes more sense to just joke about it rather than to repeat myself. Obviously, if you like the content, you'll go back and learn the same things over anyway. I can take that criticism, and I think it's valid, but it just means maybe the content isn't for you. But again, I respect your opinion. And people also say that it's nothing more than a let's play, and sometimes, yeah, that's the case. I make videos pretty much every other day without scripts. It's hard, and I can have off days, tired days, good days, everything in between, and the content will change depending on those aspects. But again, I see where you're coming from, but just keep in mind the hasty schedule I have. And yeah, it's more about entertainment. So, never wanted to make this video. Never thought it would come to this. I just wanted to be quiet. I wanted to ignore this. But so many people come to me, hey, are you aware of this? Are you aware of that? You were mentioned again. Guess what they said now? Now here's another thing. Are you seeing this? Do you just let this fly? I don't give a shit. I honestly, I don't give a single shit. But I finally sat down, read all of it. I listened to you. And I'm glad I did. I'm so glad I did. So what will happen from now on? Well, I've been thinking on my rating for rock and roll, but I decided that I won't let one community affect the score I'm going to give it, because I legit find that I'm having as much fun with it as I had with Mega Man 9, so expect a score close to it. Listen, if you can't stand me, that's perfectly fine. But the way the MaGMML community communicates, I'm done. It's over. I've tried to set it straight, but I just can't do it. And at this point, I don't want to. Let our paths never connect again. And good luck to everyone, and thank you to those who gave me the real criticism, which then allowed me to improve my work. I will not touch any further MaGMML project, any side projects that have to do with it, and this is so that both sides can finally be at peace. I give up with you. I'm sorry. I give up. And the last thing I have to say before I go, I expect the dislikes. I know I'm gonna get them. That's fair. That's fair for a video like this. I expect that. Anytime I looked into the MaGMML server, or anything that had relations to it, it pretty much ruined my entire day. It's over now. Game's been played. I'm done. This will, however, mark a new chapter for my channel and our own community. That's all that I have for now. Take care.